Hey, everybody. All right, back here with February 2nd of 2020. This is plowing right along today with this. Are you still making the thing for today? He looks at me as though he's serious. He's asking about the brownies that he told me to make for the Super Bowl party today, that I said I would make today, and went to the store yesterday to buy more flour to make them, that he let me buy with the $10 he gave me yesterday out of the blue. Yeah. Anything you need for that? No? I want so badly to tell him exactly how ridiculous this is, but it's really just another narcissistic manipulation. If I say something about it, he'll just get mad and say that he's trying to be nice. That's one of the narcissist's favorite tactics. And I don't mean like saying something snotty. It's like if I actually say, like, we got everything yesterday, remember, right? If I point out that he's either forgotten or that it's obvious that he's just manipulating me in order to have a conversation, um, that it's. Then it's a problem, right? It's kind of don't make it a problem if it's not a problem. But it's not. It wouldn't be abnormal for somebody to mention, like we did that yesterday. It would be, I'm just checking in case we forgot something. Right. So remember when I was saying it's like picking those battles, that it's just like it's not a hill worth dying on, but it's just after a while it gets kind of old. That's one of the narcissist's favorite tactics, going overboard with trying to be nice, but they know it irritates you. If you fire anything back, they can just fall back on the lie that they don't know why you're so, in his words, grouchy, right? And they're doing it in order to achieve narcissistic supply, right? That it's like either you'll be in your place and you'll just nicely say, no, I have everything I need. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm totally sure. Like, and it's good. But as soon as you're like, yeah, we bought everything yesterday, remember? Which would be a perfectly normal thing to say. A narcissist will be like, God, I'm just trying to be nice and make sure. I don't want you to get halfway into the recipe and realize that you didn't get cocoa when you're fucking making brownies, right? It's this weird ass delicate dance that nobody is trying to do with y'all horse asses, okay? All right. I didn't write anything yesterday, even though I wanted to. I guess I just never actually made it over here to my document to do it. It was just going to be some general stuff anyway, and this is a much better lead into the topic than I had at all yesterday. My hypothesis about what underlies narcissistic personality disorder explains these sorts of behaviors as being genuine. As absurd as it sounds, they genuinely do not comprehend that this overboard fake nice is actually socially awkward and concerns or irritates the recipient the same way that a toddler simply can't tell that mommy is busy or that their attempts at art are not the masterpieces they believe them to be. Of course, mommy is going to stop what she's doing to praise the purple sun with the, is that a cat? Oh, it's me. Oh, it's lovely, honey. Right? But narcissists do not ever pick up on the charity that this entails. They think it's normal. So they continue to do these sorts of things throughout their lives. There's no way to tell that the child is a budding narcissist, so there's no way to know that you should be teaching them differently, right? Because, like, all kids, this is why it's one of the exclusionary criteria, right? Is the like, not a child, not a celebrity, or that there isn't some other thing about the person that describes the behavior more relevantly, right? So, like, all little kids, typically up until their teenage years, kind of think they're shit, right? It's part of, I think it's part of a survival instinct too. You kind of have to, fake it till you make it. Like, even though you're like 3 years old, you gotta believe, right? And eventually everything kind of evens out a little bit. What essentially goes on is that the child doesn't make the connection of the relationship that mommy is to them what fuels the willingness to drop everything to attend to them, right? So like this person, right, this adult is only doing that because they're your mom. They're not doing it because people fall at your feet, right? So, but a narcissist doesn't ever, and this is something that actually gets talked about in clinical articles and stuff, that it's almost like they don't ever, there's a point at which someone is about 5 or 6 years old where they start recognizing that like other people have their own independent desires and motivations and like aspirations and ambitions and stuff, and that it's almost like narcissists don't ever truly grasp that like other people are trying to do their own stuff. Ooh, there's another classic car. That's a nice one. The babies were conceived in the back of that car in its heyday. All right. Anyway, they believe that mommy is modeling general human behavior and that their works of art really are masterpieces. Right. And then at some point, the kid grows up and realizes, like, that tissue paper hand turkey that you made is just, we're going to keep that in the family. Sometimes I think that everything would be so much easier if I actually had a clearer picture of his personal background, including any formal diagnoses that he has received. Maybe all of his behaviors really are the result of a handful of strokes, and he really used to be the things that he says he is and has done the things that he claims to have done, and I really am just here to care for his day-to-day needs as a result. But I find that highly unlikely for a number of reasons. Yesterday, I watched a video on Dr. Todd Grande's YouTube channel about a schizoid personality disorder case study, and he mentioned that this is a problem for anyone, as getting a comprehensive and accurate depiction is rarely, if ever, available. He also mentioned, and because of course this person is an unreliable narrator, right? In virtue of being a person with narcissistic personality disorder, they just don't. They're not, part of the disorder is being incapable of this appropriate level of self awareness. So you're never going to get honest answers from them anyway. But they think they're giving you honest answers. They just don't understand that they've embellished a lot. He also mentioned that case studies are generally undertaken by clinicians at the consent of the patient who is being written about, and therein lies the caveat to what I'm doing here. It's possible that whoever is pulling his strings got his consent to do so. Everything that I have experienced is a completely different narrative. If someone manipulated him into harassing me into moving in here with him, is he really to blame? How much of the responsibility lies on someone who was just doing what they were told to do, similar to the Stanley Milgram studies in the 1950s? It's possible. That's the shock studies. There's a whole movie about him and doing that. It's actually kind of cool because when they're doing the study at the beginning of the movie, it's just like a cavalcade of celebrity cameos playing these really small parts of being people who are taking part in the experiment. But basically, like they had the person in the room, they were pretending like they were testing whether or not someone would have like psychic ability. And they told them like every time they get it wrong, you're supposed to push this button and it'll administer a small shock, like nothing that's really going to hurt them. But then as the study goes on, they kind of start figuring out that they're actually hurting them, but they still don't stop. And so the study was actually about people's responses to authority and what they're willing to behave. And I believe it was actually, it stemmed from wanting to understand why so many people went along with Hitler and Nazi Germany. Um, It's possible, given what I know about how studies are conducted and the way in which informed consent is often procured in seemingly nefarious ways, that they presented him with exactly the opportunity, with the only information missing is the fact that he is the person being studied. Something like this. You have been selected to participate in a study in which individuals with various psychological disorders, including but not necessarily limited to narcissistic personality disorder and intellectual disability, are observed at length performing daily activities for a period of up to 10 years in a variety of ways by researchers of various types. You will have the opportunity to review the findings and receive a copy of the case notes at the conclusion of the study. Do you consent? Bruh, when I wrote this, I did not think that it would be this long before I did this phase. It'll be 10 years since I moved in with him on April 14th of 2026. Like, hmm, interesting. Like, why did I pick 10 years? I don't know. For a period of up to 10 years in a variety of ways by researchers of various types. You will have the opportunity to review the findings, right? And so whether he's a participant or a researcher is left up in the air, right? And because of his narcissistic personality disorder, he's going to just gravitate towards thinking he's a researcher, not that he's the participant. So then when they came along and said, you need to find yourself a caregiver, this person is a really good candidate, you should focus on her. Hey, there's the white Cybertruck. I doubt there are two of those. All right. It's been about an hour since they drove by, probably a little more. They went to the mall. Mall. They can't even get married at the mall. Speaking of people that have been awful fucking deep in lately, Jesus Christ, Kanye is off. People be like, Kanye is manipulating Bianca Censori. Bro, I think Kanye can barely manipulate his own hands into coherent thoughts. He is not manipulating that woman to do shit. But then again, here we are. Anyway, that's the end of February 2nd, 2020. Um, and I'm just going to leave it there with the thoughts of Nazis and abuse and Kanye West and white cyber trucks and going to the mall. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.